What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Lollipops to Die For. I'm your host, Stephanie, and this is my co-host,
Simona.
And today we are talking about cursed objects. So cursed objects are generally supposed to have been stolen from their rightful owners or looted from a sanctuary. Like example, the Hope Diamond is supposed to bear such a curse and bring misfortune to its owner. Today we're going to get into the topics of cursed objects and a little bit of the history of some of the most famous ones.
Get your lollipops and let's begin. Whether they're genuine or hoax, cursed objects seems to inspire a morbid curiosity. So everybody's curious, everybody wants to know if they're real or not, but they're supposed to be cursed because of some tragic event or something that happened in the past. And there also an unsettling number are reported because that happened, whatever happened hundreds of years ago.
From haunted dolls to stolen jewels, objects that are said to carry a curse are sometimes as strange as the story behind them. This list that we're about to go over covers some of the more well-known cursed items in history, and as well as a few that often fly under the radar. Whether or not these curses can be believed, the stories behind them keep the legends alive.
But let's start with few famous ones. The first one would be Robert the Doll, which was a life-size companion to a young little boy named Gene Otto in the early 1900s. So this little boy had this life-size doll that he carried everywhere. And the origins of this apparent life-size doll stipulate that this doll might have been cursed. And this kind of news circulated for years. But the most common one is that Gene's nanny cursed the doll after falling out with the boy's parents.
After the casting of this supposed curse, Gene began talking to Robert as if the doll was a real person. Gene's parents said that they could hear their son speaking to the doll all evening, and that they could even hear the doll responding in a guttural voice. Gene would also claim that Robert was responsible for various mischievous acts around the house.
Ew. Freaky.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Robert resides in a museum in Florida. It's the Museum of Fort East Marbello in Key West. And visitors who have taken the picture with Robert or mocked the Robert in any way, didn't ask for permission, apparently have reported they had terrible bouts of bad luck. And also, Robert even receives letters from past visitors asking him for forgiveness. Tricky.
I know. So now we get into the phone number 0888-888-888. I don't even think I would want to have that number. It's just kind of freaky.
Right.
So the allegedly cursed phone number, the 0888-888-888, was disconnected after all three owners of the number died within a decade. The original owner, who happened to own a phone company, passed from cancer, although some rumors claim that a rival gave him radioactive poisoning. The number was then passed down to two different men involved in the mafia who were later gunned down on business trips.
But the number was subsequently taken out of order and out of service. But there are still people curious about the legend, and they call the number, but they also only receive an outside network coverage message. So, but you know, in the end, it remains to be debated that this number we should, I guess, call at some point and try it out.
I don't know. Would you want to? Fans of horror films know Annabelle, the haunting doll. This is the next one we're talking about. from the Conjuring franchise, but the real Annabelle is a seemingly harmless Raggedy Ann doll. According to demonologist Ed and Lorraine, Annabelle is possessed by a demonic energy that attempted to kill its previous owner.
Okay, remains to be debated. After taking Annabelle into their custody, the Warrens claimed that people who made fun of the doll while visiting the occult museum were met with some sort of misfortune. One man reportedly even crashed his motorcycle after provoking Annabelle.
In 2020, rumors that Annabelle had escaped from her glass, almost said her class, her glass case at the Warrens Museum inspired multiple videos on TikTok proving the doll still has a loyal following. Which I'm debating on that one.
Well,
it's
we'll
a
give her
Raggedy
a
Ann
piece
doll.
of 2 cents at the end. But the next cursed object is a pretty famous one, the Delhie purple sapphire, also known as the cursed amethyst, was stolen from the Temple of Indra in 1857 and brought to England by Colonel W. Ferris, who quickly lost his fortune and all his belongings. Then his son reportedly encountered the same bad luck, and a friend took his own life after coming in contact with the gem. After that, seemingly everybody that came into contact with this particular gem was met with some kind of misfortune, and like even a singer who lost her voice after acquiring this stone. So
I don't know. The Delphi Purple Sapphire has been on display in London's Natural History Museum since 2007, and the curator who acquired the gem noted that he ran into terrible storm while it was in his car. So whether or not that meant anything, I don't know.
Well, now we're going to go on to a cursed object that Stephanie actually had in her collection.
And many YouTubers have.
Yes.
Whether theirs is real or not, I don't know.
But that is the Dibbuk box. The story of the Dibbuk box begins in 2001 when a man purchased it at the yard sale and began experiencing what he claims are paranormal activity in his home. He ended up selling the box on eBay in 2003, and soon after the sale, the buyer reportedly began experiencing choking sensations and nightmares of an old hag, among other terrifying encounters.
The Dibbuk box was eventually purchased by paranormal investigator Zach Bagans, who filmed mist coming out of the box in 2020. Even rapper Post Malone says he experienced a string of bad luck after coming in contact with a box at Bagans Museum.
Well, then we have another famous object, which is the Hope Diamond, which is a 45-carat Hope diamond that originated in India, again, where it was supposedly stolen by a priest who was put to death for his crime. This diamond was eventually purchased by King Louis IV in 1642, but the merchant who sold it to him was soon mauled to death by a pack of dogs.
The diamond was stolen during the French Revolution and disappeared for decades. When it reappeared in the 1800s, the Hope Diamond was blamed for a number of misfortunes, including murder, suicide, loss of fortune, and other tragedies. Some even claim that Marie Antoinette's death can be linked to her possession of the Hope Diamond.
That's a long
big
one. And lastly on our list is the Myrtles Plantation's mirror. The Myrtles Plantation is in San Francisco, LA, and is considered one of the most haunted homes in the U.S., with multiple sightings of and photographs of supposed spirit backing up the claim. A mirror in the home is thought to be cursed, and some believe it holds the spirit of a mother and her children who died in a home after being poisoned.
While the story's validity is debated, numerous witnesses have seen the woman and her children peering out of the mirror, and a child's handprint continuously reappears in one corner despite multiple cleanings and resilverings.
I want to see that.
So, what do you guys think of all these cursed objects and items? Can an item be cursed? Can something hold some sort of a residue from a tragedy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
100%.
It is known, even in mediumship is known, every object, any space holds the energy of whatever tragedy happened into, whatever the owner of the object suffered from or gone through.
Right.
You can feel that energy.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And whether they manifest in real world, that remains to be debated. And it's based on the person's sensitivity to energy and also their scale of beliefs.
Right.
Whether they're Christian or not, they are more fearful of whatever energy holds that object.
Right.
But lastly, I think it's also what people are really afraid of. And if you really believe that.
Right. I think there are legit cursed items, and there's no doubt that you can lay a curse on an item and give it to somebody, and as long as it's in the possession of the bearer, then the bad luck befalls their way. So undoubtedly, I don't dismiss that, and I believe that if things were taken or stolen, I think that can cause bad luck, which would be considered cursed.
Right.
But then you got the flip side of the coin when you have like the Warrens and the Annabelle doll, which we all know the Warrens were scam artists, number one for the biggest paranormal scams in history. So it remains to be debatable. I mean, let's take that particular doll out and let's see if it actually is, but we have never actually seen that. We don't see anything in action. It's all based on what the Warrens projected. Right. So I'm kind of like, when it comes to that kind of stuff, a little bit debatable, but as an occultist myself, I know that for a fact that you can curse an item and give it to someone to lay that curse.
Right. And you've done, Stephanie has done videos, especially on the Dibbuk box. She had one. She actually gave it away to a fan in a contest. And we've seen the Dibbuk boxes that have move objects that are in them, and stuff like that. So
right.
Again, a lot of these cursed objects on our list are considered cursed because of a lot of residual energies from people, and also if something happened bad from wearing, let's say, the purple diamond, the sapphire, or the diamond itself. If it was indeed cursed, then you're gonna have a lot of bad juju, bad energy along the way. So,
I don't know if I'd want to risk it.
No.
Let's not. Let's not.
And also, as a lesson to everybody, I know people like antiques and objects and all.
But you don't know where it came from.
Beware of where you get it.
And don't pick things up on the street.
That's another thing.
Because sometimes people toss out something they think is cursed, and then you're going to take in that energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, if you actually take an object from someone or you inherited, do a little cleanse on it before you do it. Before you wear it, before you put it in your home and bring in that energy. So
big time.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Until the next time. Go get your lollipops.
When was the last time she was waiting?
Remember, everyone, the truth is always scarier. Bye-bye.
Bye.